Hello and welcome to the last Binge Thinker probably ever. My name is Jameel Raymond. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here, as it's always been. Oh, folks, this is an emotional episode. This is a crazy episode to be doing the last Binge Thinker. Man, what a journey this podcast has been for me and hopefully for you being a part of it. Man, I was just reflecting on it, sort of doing a little episode plan, which is uncommon for me for this podcast. I'm usually just riffing off the top of my head a couple of things here and there what's going on. But wow, man, 100 episodes, ending up here. If you're watching on the YouTubes, I'm in the infinity pool at Homer. I thought this would be a great shot to finish on. A little great test for other content that I'm going to put out for Building in Public and all the Tech Sales Academy content. I'm filming this. It's like 7:30 in the morning on the Monday before this comes out. And yeah, it's a beautiful time. It's quiet. No one's out here except the other cleaners doing their thing. So this is what I wake up to every day. It's so serene. I've got hopefully you can hear a little bit of the rushing water behind me. It's quite ambient. I've got a fantastic view of the hills in the city of Phuket. It is a fantastic way to start the day. Absolutely gorgeous. Could be a little bit sunnier, but usually, well, at least it's just not pissing down, because usually it'll piss down early in the morning or in the early afternoon, and then be fine for the rest of the day. But whatever, man. It is what it is. Better than fucking cold, depressing Melbourne all day, every day. So, what have I been up to in the last week? Well, it's been a good week. A bit more balanced, a bit more restored compared to where I was last week, telling you about just being way too over anxious and just calming the fuck down and having, just finding some new levels of trust in the journey, in the universe. That is what I've been focusing on my mental health, focusing on meditation, focusing on mindfulness, trying to relieve as much anxiety out of my system, trying to get as much as I can done with a calm nervous system without feeling like I have to rush myself to get everything done. And it's been good, man. Like, just breathing in to the moment, finding more presence, just trying to be here and enjoy the journey for what it is, and remembering that I've been put in this place for a fucking reason. And as a result, man, things have been good. Like putting out the second ep of Building Tech Sales Academy on Public, putting that into the world, and that's a wild, that's me fucking talking shit and being full spectrum me in the streets of Phuket. It was good. It was good to get myself out there, man, and just go, fuck this. There is so much value in what I can offer by just being the clown, being the fool in a stuffy B2B world. That generation, the next generation of people, myself included, we're all just fucking tired of the facade of business and formalities and all that sort of shit, just to be real as fuck with people. It's been so good, dude. It's been so good. Messages of support. Someone reached out and said, hey man, like, love what you're doing. I'm gonna buy a course as soon as I can. And I was like, yes, this is what I want. I want people to resonate. I want people to join the mission. I want people to buy in, because I'm just going to put out some immense value into the world. I need to trust that that's what I'm doing. And it's just a matter of time. And the universe will provide in that time. I've got still about 2-3 months worth of cash left. I'm going to make sure I pay Ashna, because I did have an agreement with her to go, hey, let's take a hold on this. And she's been so helpful in this process. Now she's in Rotterdam. In Amsterdam, yeah, very good. So I want her to make sure she's studying and having fun, so she'll be working a little bit less, but still committed to the mission nonetheless, which is great. So yeah, man, just like meditating, slowing down, just, just being here. right? It's just like not rushing through this place. Although it is fucking crazy that I've been here 3 weeks now. Holy shit. 3 whole weeks here. It's felt like a blink of an eye. I've got to think about renewing for another month. I've got to think about my visa because I'm just in a tourist visa. I think the tourism office, though, or the customs office gave me extra time. I think they gave me a 60-day visa or close to, which is pretty sweet. So that might not mean that I have to go to Kuala Lumpur to do a visa run in a couple of weeks, which would be quite nice. Yeah, because it just saves the inconvenience. Like, look, Kuala Lumpur is only 2 hours away, so it's not a big fucking deal at all. And I realized yesterday that Japan is only an overnight flight away. So I'm like, oh man, the options are fucking so good here from Thailand to get into Southeast Asia. Malaysia's 2 hours away. Singapore's 2.5 hours away. Japan overnight flight. Taiwan overnight flight. So the options to get around and explore once I've got a few more baht and shekels under the belt. Very good. Very lovely. A lot of fun. So yeah, man, just being at ease, broadcasting the vibe, it attracts the right people. I've had, opportunities pop up, people reach out wanting to do business. And so it's man, you just got to keep being me out there. Got to keep being me out there. Speak some fucking truth, cut through the horse shit of what business is. And just be real as fuck with people, and they resonate, man. They resonate. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, speaking of beautiful things, the sun is just coming out and shining upon me. Is that not a sign from the great universe with itself? My boy, you are figuring it the fuck out. You are figuring it the fuck out. So yeah, what else have I done this week? I have the AE toolkit's done. I'm getting the website built now. That should be done by next week. So this week is me focusing on getting promotional content out and building some hype around just useful content to get people to buy into what I do. Because realistically, for $249, I shouldn't have to do much as far as promotional content. A good landing page with the hows and the whys and what's in it should be enough. But still, I'm here to make some fucking noise. I'm here to be a relentless promoter. And I gotta sell my fucking shit, man, to make sure that I get those dollars and cents squealing in. I don't know what squealing is, not a word, but whatever. So what does that look like? I've got a few ideas for content. I have this really cool Finding Nemo clip, because what I've realized is that who I'm targeting with this is the early in career seller. So I have to get into the mind of the Gen Z and the older millennials, and potentially some alphas as well. Man, I love the term alpha generation. I kind of wish I was a Gen Alpha just so I could be called a Gen Alpha to be like, bruh, I'm a fucking Sigma, bro, and I'm beyond the alpha. So, but what do you do? Now there's people watching. People are starting to come out and they're just watching me do my podcast in the pool. Well, what do you do? It's fun. But yeah, I've got some great content to come out. I find so I'm just thinking of movie reference from that era, so from my brother's era. So Finding Nemo, the whole Charlie XCX brat thing is huge at the moment. So I've got some content that that involves that. I'm also going to do a very similar to what I'm doing here, just a podcast style video on the challenges of. It's getting a bit windy. The challenges of being an account executive, and coming from a perspective of, hey man, I'm just a guy that's done your job, realized how fucking annoying it is that there's no resources to do this job properly, and putting my successful resources out on the internet for you to enjoy. All right, that is what this is. And that relatability, that one-to-oneness of me just going, hey man, I'm just a different flavor of you that's figured it out and sharing it with the world. I think that'll hit. So yeah, man, confident, very confident about the way that I can target this account executives toolkit. It's my best work. It's fucking great value for money. It'll absolutely slap. And then now I'm just, I feel like I have license to talk shit, be free, and just speak some fucking truth, which is resonating. I'm seeing a lot of, engagement growth on LinkedIn. Less followers than I thought they would get. Like, it's still consistently building, but I've noticed it's sort of just like petered out a little bit. But I mean, that could be just the weekend. I think the follower growth tends to happen during the week, and then I think what happens is more of your engaged audience, they are on the weekends on LinkedIn. I think they see your content more, because I am seeing like the same bunch of regulars that are engaging with my content come through. So yes, it's funny just playing the algorithm game of LinkedIn. Although, man, yeah, like I've said in this, being on LinkedIn is doom scrolling. It is pretentious wankfest doom scrolling. Ugh. So bad. So bad. So yeah, man, I found this great app called Tella, Tella. Perfect for people like myself. It's you might have seen it. There's an app called Loom that allows you to create video recordings whilst you are, sharing a screen, which is really cool. So it's good for recording content, recording courses. Now there's a better version of it called Tella, which is much more aesthetic and fits a screen much better and has the ability to do vertical and horizontal screen recording really well. So that's going to be a perfect tool for me to start doing video lessons of the course, or just free tech sales lessons on all the socials. And really, that's been probably the missing link for people to buy into who I am, is that I'm talking about the hows and the whys of what I've done, but I have to actually create value in the market through my free lessons, through my free content, because that's what's drawn people in, is they resonate with what I'm saying and what I'm doing, and that's what generates leads, is the hows. So now that the plan is to just lock the sales funnel in and lock the community in. What do I mean by that? I want to make sure that I've got the website and everything locked in for the Account Executives Toolkit. I also want to lock in and finish the remaining content of the Tech Sales Academy community, because in there is something called the Tech Sales Mentorship, and that's like 20... There's going to be like 30 free lessons of free tech sales lessons. I've talked about that before, but really locking that in. So just pushing everything and everyone to the community. They get nurtured there. There's cool shit happening. And then from there, people will, listen to me enough to go, hey, I want to buy this guy's course. And then, yeah, on top of that's the nurturing platform to get customers to buy. And then once I've got the course out, I'll be doing video-based cold outreach on LinkedIn, and then just, smashing out all my customer list, all of my followers, seeing who's relevant in my space, and then just video DMing them, hey, I've just released this product. This is how it works for you. If you like it, check out this website. If not, check out the free community, and I'll nurture you until you go, all right, this guy knows what he's fucking talking about. And then that's it, man. Like, the mechanism now is to get to one course sale a day. One low ticket course sale a day gets me $11,000 Australian per month, top line. I need $6,500 Australian to survive and make sure I pay Arshna and everything is peachy keen. And that's when I'm like, whew, we did it, baby. We motherfucking did it. So, yeah, man. I think I'm going to aim for a September 1st launch. And, yeah, from there, just absolutely blast people. Get the promotion machine out there and fucking blast out le content. That's the game. That's the funny game we play in business. Business! But yeah, it's a strange, interesting game of life. What else have I been up to? I actually went out and socialized for the first time last week, which was nice. Went to a trivia night with some other nomads and randoms. And that was cool, man. Like, it's nice to actually hear from friendly Russians. There's a couple there that one was quite nerdy. She was bookish, but pretty fun. Her name was V. There was this other girl called Nara who was pretty hot, but bit of an airhead. But yeah, she ended up being taken. It's a shame, but still, pretty cool crew. But there was this one lady, I won't name her, and she was Asian American, and she was like classic, like loud, obnoxious American, like controlling, overbearing, talking so loud, overexcitable. And I just everything she said just grated on my nerves. I was just like, ugh, Yanks. Hey, could I customize the menu and get exactly this? And hey guys, I think we should do it this way. You do this and I do that. And I'm just like, this is a team game, lady. This is a team sport. Who the fuck put you in charge? I've been through this. I just went through my second divorce. Oh, you don't say. Oh man, I gotta stop hating. But it is so much fun. So much fun. But yeah, you just meet so many interesting characters, and just life hits you in a completely different way when you're out in the world, instead of just being in my own fucking four walls and just being in my own head all the goddamn time, like just getting out of myself and being in the real world. Like just yesterday, I'm chilling out here in the pool and I'm just enjoying myself. Yesterday was a rest day, although I did go out into there's this place here called like Muay Thai Street in Phuket, and basically it is Meathead Lane. Like, it is literally just like a street, like I don't know, like a quarter of a suburb, like a main strip in Phuket that is just filled with gyms, supplement shops, Muay Thai fighting camps. And it's just like toxic masculinity lane. It's just like fighting, MMA, and like all of the things, everything is just related to like big boy cafe, trooper cafe, big man eats cafe, get supplements, MMA gear, recovery, massage. You want steroids? You can get steroids if you want. I ended up being like half Thai, half Russian, but you know, I just presume everyone in the underworld is Thai and Russian here. Well, they have to be, at least Thai. But yeah, just walking around there yesterday, and I was like, there's just fucking juiced up dudes everywhere in their little scooters. Everyone's fucking sun's out, guns out. I can't deny, like, I did fit in a little bit, but the vibe for me is completely off. I was like, I could not. It'd be great for, like, getting a good workout in and going to the gym. It'd be great for that. But besides that, everything else would be like, blech. It's like, it may as well just be the Joe Rogan fan club out there. Hey, I'm a fan of Rogan too, but not that much of a fan, But, yeah, just go check that out. And then just wandering around there. There's a guy. I don't know what, like, and this place is like full of his like Eastern European, I call them the forgotten stands. You know what I mean? Because I'm from Pakistan, which is relatively known, but like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, like fucking Kazakhstan. So, there's all those forgotten stands that are sort of like Central Asia, but no one gives a fuck. A lot of guys there. A lot of fucking, a lot of guys that have fought their way out of, being shepherds and goat farmers to become fighters and go to training camps. But there was, I don't know what this guy was up to, but there was like two different people, and everyone's taking grabs, which is just like Uber, but with scooters. So that's what I take as well. It's a fucking good value. Like, you can get around town. I went like a 40-minute grab ride the other day. Was like 200 baht, which is not even $10. Insane value out here. And this kid, he's got a full suitcase on his shoulder. Like, he's carrying it on one arm, and like, so he's got like a 20-30 kilo suitcase, and he's grabbing it on his arm, and he's holding it while he's on the back of a grab. So there's two men, a full suitcase, and you can see that the scooter's starting to bottom out a little bit, just driving past. And I was like, Where the fuck are you going with this shit, mate? How the fuck do you think you're going to survive? And then like 15 minutes later, another fucking Uzbekistani dude, he's on the back of the Grab, and instead of just carrying the suitcase, he's just wheeling. He's wheeling the fucking suitcase behind him on the street like a trailer. So he's just holding onto the suitcase on those tiny little fucking suitcase wheels, just up the road on the back of a scooter. I just started laughing and just gave the guy a look of acknowledgement, and he's just like, yep, it is what it is, brother. Oh, man. And then, yeah, just speaking of, just like the strangeness of life and just the culture clash you get when you're in a different country, a different world. It's like I'm sitting in the pool and two ladies are swimming past me. And one is this, she was either Russian or Polish, and she's a fucking MILF. Man, the amount of Russian MILFs, I know I've talked about this for the last couple of weeks that I've been here, but the amount of Russian MILF that is here is too damn high. It's such, I need to get better sunglasses because I got some cheap, shitty sunglasses that don't really improve your vision that much. Like, they're just literally just like tinted lenses, but they're not polarized, so it's actually harder. It's actually harder to see people in the sunglasses than it is to, it's harder to wear. What am I saying here? Yeah, like, they do not really help. They protect you against the sun, but they don't make you see any better. And, sunglasses when you're on the beach, it's great for a perv, right? So it's very hard for me to perv because my sunglasses don't work, so I haven't bothered wearing them. And, I just keep staring at these goddamn MILFs. But there's one of them, amazing body, just swimming past me. She's in a tight little bikini, not insane, but just still enough to show off the goods. And she's swimming past me. Blonde hair, blue eyes, Hitler's fantasy, just paddling past me, just minding her own business. And then passing her in a sliding doors moment is this conservative, I presume Lebanese woman who has got the burqa on, and she's wearing she's covered head to toe in like what I presume is some sort of like Arab swimwear bodysuit. But so she's in like a neon pink, like a rashi, like what a surfer would wear, but a little bit looser. And she looks like, that thing must be adding 10 kilos onto her mass. And, she's Lebanese lady. Like, most of them, they don't really exercise much. So she's got a little bit of weight. She's she's less MILF and more mother, right? And then she's swimming past me as well at the same time. And they just sort of cross over in front of me. And I'm like wondering, like, what do they think of each other? Do they go, ugh, that woman must be so repressed on both sides of the fence, like this, the bikini MILF looking at the Lebanese lady and going, this poor woman, she must be so repressed to be fully covered up. And then the Lebanese lady is like, what's a Lebanese accent? I can only do like a male Lebanese accent. Bro, this chick, look at her showing herself off. What a tragedy, haram. She did not sound like that at all, but I don't know what female Lebanese accent is. And then do they think they're both being oppressed? Or is like one of them going, man, it'd be nice to just cover up and not have to think like I have to put myself out here like this. And the Lebanese lady's like, man, I'd love to have my fucking tits out and just enjoy some actual sun in like full sun. Oh, man. But yeah, they just like passing ships of the night, crossing over, and I just couldn't help but think, their worlds are so different, man. Especially being in this like a hotel like this. Like even just walking up this morning, like I'm in my own entirely different world. And then someone like a Chinese family came into the elevator, and they don't speak a word of English. And they've got a little Chinese kid there, and he's looking at me like, who's this interesting look? This guy looks strange. This big, miscellaneous looking guy looks strange. He must be thinking in his little Mandarin head, what's he about? You know, because kids look at me, they're curious because I'm, you know, out of place a little bit. And then, yeah, like those Chinese people just like, you know, entire worlds just sort of like interact for a brief second and then they just disappear into their own little world of what Chinese people want to do when they're in Phuket. I don't know. You know, just eat chicken feet salad. That was a real thing. I took a photo of that at one of the markets. It's literally chicken feet salad. And I was like, oh, gross. And then I saw a couple of Chinese people, I presume they were Chinese people, literally order a chicken feet salad, a poached chicken feet salad, just pale chicken feet on a bunch of fucking salad greens. Just going, delicious. Oh, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, man. It's, I'm just going to check. How long have I done here? Because I can't see from a distance. What have we done? We've done about 26. All right. So, it's time to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. And to do so, I wanted to just give you a little wrap up of the full history of... How you doing? The full history of the Binge Think, a little history lesson for those who don't know. So the original concept, I've always been a talker, clearly. As someone that's done 100 podcast episodes pretty easily, most of them on his own, I've been a talker. And I've always liked the idea when I was younger, I'm talking about teens, early 20s, getting into radio. And this is, 2010, 2009 to... Oh, this is this is called the early 10s. Podcasting was starting to pick up a little bit. And I can't remember... I remember I was in uni. It must have been 2013, 2014. 2014 is actually when 2012 is when I started university. But I think I did my first episode of the Binge Thinker when I was in university. And I think it was called Binge Thinking at the time. And it was a play on binge drinking, which is quite common if you are Australian and in your late teens, early 20s. And again, at that time, I had no idea about mental health. I had no idea about who I really was. I was this anxious, fucking traumatized 23, 24-year-old. I was scared to put his voice out into the world, but had this desire to do a radio show. So Swinburne University, where I went and did my marketing degree, they had 3SSR, and they had slots open for people to do radio shows and broadcast. And so I put my hand up for an early morning slot, and I remember doing it. I did the induction. It was really fun. It was fun and interesting to, be in front of a microphone and get myself out to the world. But I remember doing the first couple of episodes and I was absolutely shitting my pants. I was so anxious, so nervous. I was like, how the fuck am I going to fill like an hour plus of content? Because you got to play music as well and you get to curate your own music, which was pretty sweet. And I did have some choices of music. And yeah, I remember just stuttering my way through, trying to write hours of, write bits. And yeah, I sucked at it. I completely sucked at it, but I gave it a crack. And I remember I had friends on, a good friend of mine, Jeremy O'Neill, love you, Jez, who was as a guest, and I had some other 3SSR alumni as guests. And I was good at the talkback part. Talking with people, going back and forth, talking a bit of shit. That's my strength. So that bit was fun. But when I was on my own trying to curate a show, I was so nervous about the 2 or 3 people that were listening, probably close to no one. And it was broadcast not just inside Swinburne University. It was also broadcast on like an 80-something FM frequency. It was one of the 80s. I can't remember. But yeah, so I think I did about 5 or 6 episodes, and then I quit because I was just like so anxious about it, and there was so much work to put together a radio show that I had no clue about. I did a handful of episodes, but that's what the original concept was. I kept the name in my back of my head. I thought that could be useful for something, and then as the years went by, podcasting picked up and it sort of launched off. You know, Rogan got big and comedy podcasts got huge. And then when the pandemic hit, 2020, and there was this explosion of content creation because everyone was locked down, so TikTok absolutely blew up and dominated the market over that 12 months during the pandemic. You know, the rise of video content, comedy podcasts picked up because no one had anything else to do except sit in your house and listen to shit or watch shit and be entertained over the internet. So then, that's when I had launched around, it must have been 2021, 2022. I had the idea for Aussie Comedy Network. It must have been 2020 to 2021. Had the idea for Aussie Comedy Network. And so, you know, that was aggregating short-form content, Australian short-form content. Terrible idea, because open mic content sucks. And really, no one was good at creating content except for a handful of people. And those are the ones that naturally rose to the top. Your Blake Pavies, your Ruben Solopatiases, plenty of other, you know, Tom Hardy, Tom Cardy, whatever his name is, the musical guy. You know, great, good on him. Talented people. Good stuff. Good for yous. And yeah, at that time I thought, well, it would be necessary for me to create a podcast. I've always had the idea of talking. And then the Binge Thinker came up. And I was like, let me recycle this and bring this concept up. Because at that time, I'd gone through the first transformation, and I felt constantly compelled to talk about it and talk about what I'd been through and all the things that I'd seen in the world, all the things that I've talked to you guys about, technology, spirituality, transformation, all of that stuff. And then my first episode, which was, I think it must have been early 2021, or maybe it was 2022. I honestly can't remember. That's what a daily weed habit will do to you. And I remember doing the first episode in the top floor of my house, and I was so fucking nervous to put my story out into the world. I talked about the transformation. It was like an hour and 45-minute podcast. It was real long, and I just basically talked about my entire life and journey up into that point. And go back to that first episode, like, it's pretty crazy. It's real as fuck. It's raw. It's honest. And I was so afraid of being seen and talking about my journey. I didn't even do a video version. Not that video podcasts were big at that time, but they were certainly picking up. It was the future and still is. But yeah, I was so afraid of seeing my own face on camera and so afraid of being seen that, yeah, I just did it audio only. And then eventually the second, third, fourth episodes, I just put it on camera and I produced the fuck out of it. I just remember like setting up my stage and, not stage, what's it called? The studio, my backdrops and all that. I put so much effort into the production value of it, which is rapidly degraded down into me just literally doing a single take podcast with literally just a Sony camera, this fucking Rode mic, one take, 20 minutes, 15 minutes to edit and export. But that's the effort you want to put yourself. You want to make sure to put the effort in. And yeah, man, it's just been a journey since then of just like sharing things, the process, the journey, just getting better at being a talker, getting better at sharing my voice and sharing how I really think and feel. And it's been, there's lots of ups and downs. For early on, I was so scared of being judged and not getting that many likes and follows and downloads and all that sort of stuff. Like, yeah, it is hard, so hard to put yourself out in the internet and just scream into the abyss and not have anything scream back or people resonate back. So I did the podcast, had some guests, and that was fun talking to people. I really should get more guests and stuff on, but it's just easier for me to organise, just talking to you guys. And that was fun, having comics on, talking about important topics and whatnot. I think I got to like 40 or 50 episodes before I took a break last year from the podcast. I think I took 2 breaks. And that was a bad idea, to be quite honest, to take a break. I was just so overexhausted and overworked, and I didn't feel like the podcast was in alignment for what I was doing, because I was trying to narrow down all my energy into building Tech Sales Academy last year. But then all those fucking amazing things happened. Got top 1%. I picked the podcast up back at New York. Like, I really should have stuck with it and stayed consistent no matter what, but that's the lesson. That's the learning. And then, I've just been doing it week in, week out. Just dedicating a Sunday or a Monday afternoon to getting it done, getting it quick, getting it out into the world. And I stopped promoting it last year. And like I said last week, I've only probably got, on average, 30 listeners, somewhere between 20 and 40 downloads, consistent downloads per week, depending on the situation. And that's totally fine with me, man. Is that really, it's not about having the biggest audience for this thing. It's just been about an exercise in authenticity, an exercise in just being comfortable talking on camera, speaking my truth, just feeling like I have a space in the world where I can, be authentically me and just talk. And having 30 people, man, that's a room in a comedy. If I had 30 people at Jambo in a comedy show, that's a good fucking show. That's a good room full of people that are consistently tuning in, that are interested in my life and what I have to say. And that's a fucking beautiful thing. And that's why I'm grateful. I don't care how big the audience is. I never really have. I'm just grateful that you, the good people that listen to this podcast, believe that I've got something interesting to say and have built a connection with me. And I'm so fucking grateful for you all. So grateful. I appreciate every single one of you from the bottom of my heart. And the biggest takeaway from this podcast is the courage and the strength to just stand up and just be me. That's the win out of all of this. That's the biggest growth. It's not the followers. It's not the prestige of any of those things. That'll come in time. It is, hey man, I've done 100 episodes of this thing. I've consistently shown up, been myself, shared myself with the world, and people have connected and resonated. And isn't that what we really want in life, is just to be heard, to be felt, to be understood? Like, that's really all we want, and to be loved, of course. And, in all of that, in the vulnerability, in the pain and the struggle of who we are, having people around us that support us, that empathize with us. And, there is a degree of love between you and I. I can certainly say I love you all in appreciation for what we have done together and the journey that we've been through together. All right, this is a relationship with you, the good people on the other side of this. So it's like, I see this as an evolution. I see this as the training ground or the staging ground for building Tech Sales Academy in public and taking things up a notch, increasing the production value, really stepping into creating value and promoting what I'm doing, and really trying to put a dent in the universe and having the hours and the reps through doing this podcast with you people, the good people. And just going, all right, I can do this. I can be myself. I can say what I want. I can say what I feel. And people connect. And if I was to promote and scale this out a little bit further, like I am doing now with building Tech Sales Academy in public, people will fucking pay attention and will connect. And that's what success is in the digital world, is to just create great value that resonates with the people at an authentic level. And the vibe is the tribe, and you attract like-minded people, and you create the community together. That's the recipe to success. So now, I take this from this beautiful micro tribe of us, and we take this to the next level. And again, I could not be doing this without this journey, without these 100 episodes, without being myself. And again, I am infinitely grateful to you, the dear listeners, the bingers of this podcast. So fucking grateful. So grateful. And please, I only know about a handful of you personally of who pays attention to this podcast. I barely know who the fuck's paying attention. I think I know about 5 people. So please, as we transition, as we move on, make yourself known, reach out, send me a message. I've always said, say hi. I would love to connect with you one-to-one. I would love to get to know who is on the other side of this, who has been on the journey with me. It's been a fucking journey. And I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Dear bingers. That is it. We are done. That is it for this week. That is it for this podcast. Holy shit. Thank you again. Thank you again. Please, the journey continues of me podcasting on building Tech Sales Academy in public. It is very similar to what I'm doing here. I'm just a little bit more focused on the solopreneurship. And I'm still talking about transformation there as well. And just building. So please, come, follow me on the Tech Sales Academy YouTube page if you haven't already. I will put the link in the description and on the YouTubes. Come over there. Would love to keep this conversation going. That's my only ask for you is, like, comment, subscribe. I can't even say that anymore because I will be probably not putting much on this YouTube channel from now on. Now, whilst I focus on Tech Sales Academy, just got to focus on one platform for a bit. But yes, come over there, make yourself known, please. I would love to connect with you and express my gratitude to you directly. Thank you for your time and attention as always. And thank you, bingers. I love you all. I love you all. Ciao for now.